Hey everyone, how are you doing? What we want to take a look today is how to set up basically attack animations or in general animation montages for your AI. Because as you know in the last tutorial, what I showed you was how to set up like the locomotion in the animation blueprint. But as you know, if we go to the face AI and then into any kind of phase, if we have here a tab called animations, and in these animations you can load in animation montages that kind of play at a certain time in the phase. Okay, and I want to show you how to set these up and kind of like what kind of animation notifies we have to make our AI feel more alive and feel more engaging. Okay, so first things first, you find all the animation notifies. You can just add them here, but just so you know where they are in the advanced AI folder, and then utility, and then Anim Notifies, and here you have the most important ones. Okay, so now let's take a look at this animation, for example, right here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to see here the AGR combat activate weapon notify. And what you need to do here is activate weapon by name. This name you can find in the base AI, and then you go to event graph and set up combat master here. Here you can see we set up certain trackers, right? And each tracker has a name, and depending on basically what weapon they have, you take this name and put it in here, okay? And you can see here clear other weapons. This is just important if you have like a dual weapon, for example. Normally it's always checked off, okay? So the next thing in combination with that is the AGR, what's the whole name? Combat trace, right? This is basically, it tells when the AI should trace the hit. So from here to here, he traces the hit or the tracker, and if anything overlaps in this duration with the tracker we set up here, tracker, we cannot see them, but they are here, then the AI will say, okay, I damage this player or I damage this AI, okay? Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is just very important just to be able to do damage, right? And of course, this same setup you can use also for the player. I personally do that. So I have the same montage setup for my player that I also use for the AI. Okay, the next thing we want to do is have a dodge notify. You can, by the way, to add notifies, you just right click and then say here add notify. You find here all kinds of notifies like dodge notify, spell notify, and stuff like this. Okay, so this basically just tells to a certain percentage that, oh, here comes an attack, and it basically screams it out to a certain radius around the AI. And if another AI hears this, they will try to dodge this attack. Okay, right? So it's just to make it more engaging and give the AI the possibility to dodge, because this dodge notify you can also give to your player, for example. And he will shout out, oh, here I'm attacking, and then the AI will try to dodge the player. Then we have the voice notify, which basically just says, oh, here at this point in time, to a certain percentage, I think it's 60%, I will say something. Okay, and you can say here voice variation. You can say shout, speak, activity, idle, and damage, right? And what they actually say, you set up in the AI itself. So if we go here to event graph and we go to voice box, here we have play voice event, right? And here we have a switch anim, voice anim, and here's basically shout, speak, activity, idle as well. And here you just set it up. So here you, for example, I set up here shout at the location of the mesh. And he basically will just shout out whatever sound cue I plug in here. And this is a variable, so it will also be available to easily change that in any child blueprint of the AI base. Okay, so this is just a way for shouting, for example, when he attacks or when you make them talk. You can also put in here like whatever they want to say in this certain moment of time, and or if they get damaged, they grunt, something like this. You set all this up here. The next thing would be trail. This is something comes with Unreal Engine, so it's not something I set up. You just go in here and you say here trail, right? And then I have another thing here. It also comes with Unreal Engine. It's just like a sound notify that you play as like a weapon swing in my case at this point in time. But the most important part is of course the AGR combat activate weapon, the dodge, and the voice that comes with a pack. Okay, this is what I used for this animation, but we have a few more Anim Notifies that actually comes with it. Okay, we go here, Anim Notify. Let's take a look. So we have shoot notify. So if the AI shoots, it sends the perform range attack notify. So actually, if you want the AI to be able to shoot, you need to add this notify to the animation they play when shooting. Okay. Then with the spell notify, which basically allows you, let me find it in the AI real quick, which basically allows your AI to cast spells, right? So let's see, where have I done this? Perform spell, right here. So this function will be called from the Anim Notify, and as you can see here, if we go back to it, utility Anim Notify spell. Here, this variable you can choose when you add the Anim Notify in the animation, and you can choose area at location, around caster, fly to location, and buff. And these things you have to set up basically here. So it will switch on area at location, and here you can plug in the spell as well that you can define in the animation montage that will automatically be sent here, and then he will play this spell at this location or throw it at the location. You just have to code it in here. Okay. Then we have the last one, and that is a threat notify, which is very similar to the dodge notify, where you can basically just say, okay, at this point in time, I will send out an area message of taunt, because a threat is basically a taunt. Of course, you can change it here what kind of area message they should send out. But it's very nice if you have like two AIs like fight each other and one taunts each other, and then something happens because of the taunt and stuff like this. Okay, so these are the Anim Notifies and how you set up animation montages. And one last thing, it's maybe important, I don't know if I said that. If you have an animation montage, it's important to set it to the right thing. For example, if you use the whole body, you want to add it. You want to change the default group, the slot, to full body. If you only use the upper body, for example, if you shoot your weapon, you want to set it to upper body, right? It's just important because if you set it to, if it's still at default, it will not play the animation. Okay. And that's how you set up animation montage. I hope that helps, and see you